Good morning. Good morning, Jamaica. Good morning, New York. Good afternoon. I'm coming to the studio before midday and don't realize it's afternoon. Forgive me. It's Jamaica Live. We're on Bridge 99, broadcasting from Kingston, but being transmitted as well through Jam in New York. It's the 12th day of December. Almost the end of the year. I'm 2 weeks away from Christmas. And I hope that all of us are approaching Christmas responsibly. I made an appeal last week. Don't blow the credit card. Don't bust out everything. Take time. Remember that you have obligations in January. Don't mess up yourself. I'm distressed over the weekend as well to see the continuing spate of motor vehicle accidents, crashes. I mean, I saw pictures of that one out near on the Palisades Road. And I actually drove that road yesterday. I had to pick someone up at the airport, and I saw the wrecker moving one of the crashed vehicles. Good God. I mean, one or both of those vehicles must have been driving at a phenomenal speed for that extent of damage to be done, and 4 people were killed. We're already past last year's road crash fatalities. I remember, when I was in office and I chaired the National Road Safety Council, I remember the efforts that we made to try to reduce the number of motor vehicle accidents. And we actually managed to get it down to, I think it was under 300 in 2012. And since that time, it has just continued to climb. So we're over 400 now. Over 400 now. And some of the places where these accidents occur, you're not talking around about blind corners. Straight road. Straight, wide road. And it's obviously a result of speeding for one, and 2, bad judgment. People overtaking. You see a vehicle coming. Or sometimes you don't even bother look to see the vehicle coming. Just decide you can't wait, and you push out, and next thing you push out, you see a big tanker coming in your direction. Do for God's sake. I mean, can you imagine those little children at home who expecting to get a Christmas present this year, and next thing the news reach them that daddy dead in a car crash? Lord, man, make us straighten up. Slow down, take time. It's Jamaica Live, as I said. We're on Bridge 99. We're going to hail up New York in a short while, but we come back shortly. It's Christmas time. Christmas is 13 days away. And it's a time of giving. It's a time when we encourage people to reach out to those who are less fortunate, those who are challenged in various ways, to try to bring some cheer to them at Christmas. But of course, charity doesn't belong only to Christmas. There is need every month of the year, every day of the week. People whose circumstances are such that they have a hard time making it on their own. And so many of them depend on the goodness of others who will reach out. We perhaps don't have enough of that. We're accustomed to some of the big charities that, you know, occupy the headlines. I mean, we see reports in the papers from time to time of them making donations to various worthy causes, whether it is some infant school somewhere or it is to help homeless people, whatever. And these are well-known charities. A lot of them are funded by companies. A lot of our companies now have established foundations. Our banks, many of our private sector entities, they do have a charitable outlet where they put aside some of the profits that they make and they try to do good works to assist people in need. And we also have some foundations that are established by some of our people who have achieved enormous success, our athletes. Usain Bolt, Shelley Ann Fraser Price, they have established foundations through which they seek to assist in various ways to assist people, children, schools, or artists. I mean, look at Shaggy. Shaggy does an annual concert every year for the Bustamante Children's Hospital, and there are other artists, Capleton. There are artists who also do have a lot of charitable activity going on. The ones that we don't hear a lot about, are the ones who they don't make the headlines. When they're doing things, there's no photographer there. There's no journalist to cover it. And the things they do may not be on as grand a scale as, the Sandals Foundation or the NCB Foundation or the Usain Bolt Foundation. But what they do is as important. And what is even more significant is that they do it out of a genuine commitment to help. They're not looking kudos. They're not looking headlines. They're not looking big up from anybody. They do it out of a sense of obligation, a sense of duty. They do it because they see a need and they feel that they have a responsibility to respond in the way that they can to fill that need. And we decided, don't credit me for it, it's my producer who did this. We decided today we want to focus on Tamoy Campbell I'm talking about. We decided that today we wanted to shine a little spotlight on the altruism, on the reaching out, on the efforts of people that you have never heard about. Groups that have given themselves a name, but names that you have never heard about, but who in their own quiet, dedicated, committed way are making a difference to the lives of people out there. They see a need, they organize themselves, they jump around, they try to get their hands on what resources they can. They try to help. They try to make today a little better for some people than it was yesterday. And we decided today we want to talk to some of them. We want to find out what is it that motivates them, what inspires them to do this. So many of our young people today, they're so concerned about their own existence, their own prospects, that they don't have the time to help nobody. They need help themselves, they will tell you. But there are some young people, and the ones we're talking to today are primarily young people. I mean, there's one organization, for example, that we're going to be featuring on this program. It was started, the initiative came from a youngster at school, at the Anchovy High School, Ashley Ann Broughton. She was 17 years old when this idea hit her, and she said, are going to start a movement. And this is how societies change, Not from the big shots doing big things, but from small people who we don't know about doing the small things, but small things that make such a difference in the lives of people out there. And that's why we're happy today to spend some time talking with them. And I hope that in that discourse, in engaging with them in terms of what it is that drives them, what it is that propels them to make this effort, in addition to the challenges that they themselves no doubt face. But what is it that pulls them into this kind of altruism, this kind of reaching out, this kind of giving back, this kind of helping up? And we hope that in those exchanges with them, we hope that perhaps we can inspire some other people out there who may have the idea but are a little timid to learn from the experience of others and maybe take the plunge themselves, and make life better for other people, and in the course of that, enrich their own lives in terms of the fulfillment that they will no doubt get from helping others. So we're very, very pleased now. I hope to be joined by Ashley Ann Broughton. She's online? Not online yet? Want me to take a break? All right, get her online for me when we come back. Well, welcome back. It's Jamaica Library on Bridge 99. As I indicated before, today we're focusing on good works, charitable works, people stepping outside of their lane, their narrow lane, and helping other people. And we're focusing on young people primarily. And we're focusing on those persons and organizations that I'm sure most of you have never heard about. But we want to highlight them today because, it's one thing to have the Sandals Foundation and the NCB Foundation and so on, but even with their size and clout, there's a limit to the impact that they can have. What makes a real difference is if we were to find ourselves in a position where in every community, in every town, there are people who are organizing themselves to help other people, to help to lift up people out of distress and out of need. That would make such a huge difference to the quality of life and to the prospects for so many people. One of the organizations that I mentioned we want to focus on today is the Street People Liberation Movement. And I believe that we're going to be joined by Candice Garwood. She's online, who can tell us about its history, how it came about, what does it do, what is its focus, what is its forecast for the future. Candice, are you online?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me clearly, Mr. Golding?
I'm hearing you very well, so I want to welcome you to the program.
Thank you for having us.
Tell me about the Street People Liberation Movement. What is it all about? What does it do?
Okay, so the Street People Liberation Foundation is a charity that was founded in March 2014, actually, and our aim is to assist the homeless in Montego Bay, in Kingston primarily, by hosting events such as our Christmas feeding event that we have coming up on December 18th. We also donate to homeless shelters. We spread awareness regarding homelessness overall, regarding the rights of the homeless, because we know that at times there are unfortunately instances where the rights of the homeless in Jamaica are violated. So this is essentially what we are focusing on. As I mentioned, just assisting the homeless, helping them as much as possible with our team of volunteers that we have, or supporters. Yes.
You live in Mobay, do you?
No, I'm actually from Kingston.
I see.
So presently, Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Presently, I am studying in the US, but I'm from Kingston and I'm with SPL all the way. So it doesn't matter where I am in the world, I will always be connected with SPL. Yes.
So what drew you to focus on Moby and the street people there, the homeless?
Okay. So the organization started in Montego Bay by Ashley Ann Broughton, who is our founder when she was just 17. But it's based in both Montego Bay and in Kingston. So that's how I was able to get involved. So I'm actually one of the project coordinators with the organization.
Do you mind,
And I was
Candice?
drawn. Mhm.
Do you mind my asking you how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
You're what?
I'm 19 years old.
Then tell me something now. Where does a 19-year-old who is
Yes.
excited about life and future and education and prospects and so on, how does a 19-year-old find time to focus on the needs of homeless people in Montego Bay? What makes you different from so
And
many
in
others?
Kingston as well. Well, that's a really interesting question because when I started serving on the exec, I was actually 17, so it was 2 years ago. And honestly, I don't think I'm very different from a lot of young people. I think a lot of us are passionate about just different social issues that are present in Jamaica, in society at large, but it's just to actually get involved with specific movements. So I just love giving back, and the way I saw it, as much as I had to, and I have to focus on school and focus on personal goals, I cannot exist. I can't live in a society where I'm not actively doing anything to contribute to that society. So that's just one of the ways that I decided to give back, no matter how small that would seem to other people.
You know, I'm almost 4 times your age. But when I listen to you, it is what gives me hope for this country, you know. And I only hope that there are many more people like you out there, because if we have enough of you and people who think like you and who act like you, this country, despite all our difficulties, this country is going to be safe and good.
Yes.
Tell me about the work that you
Thank
do
you,
with the
Mr.
homeless.
Golden. Yes, so I could talk right now about the event that's coming up on December 18th specifically, since we're so close. So this event, this feeding event, is going to take place in downtown Montego Bay. And I know that persons are listening and they want to know how they can help and contribute. Well, right now we're accepting cash donations. We're also accepting donations of eco-friendly lunch boxes, aluminum trays, juice, water, vegetables, paper towels. So I'm going to provide a contact number right now, actually 2. So if you're interested in donating cash or kind, you could contact 876 296 4002 or 876 381 9182. And just like
Candice, well, I'm going to want you to repeat those numbers so that listeners who may be inclined to jump in and assist can help. But are those numbers WhatsApp friendly?
Yes, they are. So you could leave a message on WhatsApp or you could just call directly. And I could also provide social media information as well.
Yeah, go ahead and do that and repeat those numbers.
Okay, so for the social media, on Instagram and Facebook, we are at Street People Liberation. At Street People Liberation. On Twitter, we are Street streetpeople_JA. Streetpeople_JA. You can also email us, and that would be SPL Foundation LTD@gmail.com. So SPL Foundation LTD@gmail.com.
And give us those telephone numbers again.
All right. So it's 876-296-4002 or 876-381-9182.
Tell me, how many people are involved in the organization?
There are hundreds of volunteers involved, and there are way more supporters, so persons who just support the organization, persons who donate, persons who share the word.
How were you able?
As a matter of,
How are you able to mobilize that level of participation?
well, honestly, I have to give credit to Ashley because, as I mentioned earlier on, she started this 8 years ago. She was 17, and
Where is she now? Is she
been here.
she still involved in the organization?
Yes, she is. She serves as CEO right now. She's actively involved. She's a SPL advocate.
And she's a past student of Anchovy High, no?
Yes, I don't want to provide any wrong information, but I believe so. She was based in Montego Bay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And
She has won several awards actually on behalf of SPL, including a Prime Minister's Youth Award. She's amazing.
That's excellent. And
Yes.
and tell us a little bit more about the fundraising event that you're planning for this year.
Okay. So every year we have different feeding events, and usually these would take place during Christmas or during Easter. So on December 18th, this is our Christmas event for this year, and we're looking forward to providing meals for around 50 to 70 persons downtown in Montego Bay. So we'll have our volunteers who will just oversee preparation of the meals, and they'll actually go out and they'll provide these meals to the homeless. And this is just one of the main events that we have every single year. This is one of the ways that we give back. And I'm just encouraging persons again, if you can, to please support, please donate, cash or kind, because your donation is really going a long way and for a good cause.
Well, it's so important, and I want to encourage anybody who is listening, both here and abroad, to try and jump in, because when we see young people driven
Yes.
to this kind of effort and driven to this kind of generosity and this kind of upliftment of other people, it is something that we mustn't just watch and ignore. We must support it. So I'm going to give you a chance once again to just provide information, particularly for those who may have tuned in late, as to how they can get involved, how they can assist you in this effort. Give us those details again. We lost Candice? I don't believe it. No, we lost her. But really amazing. You know, I've never heard of them before. I mean, I'm looking at my running sheet and I'm hearing about this organization for the first time. But they've been in operation now for 7 years, 8 years. And young people. Founded by Ashley Ann Broughton. She's 25 years old now, and they founded this 8 years ago. We were talking to Candice Garwood. She said she's 19 years old. Can you believe a 19-year-old is so committed, so articulate about what they're about? The helping hand that they're extending. It's a good show. We're going to be talking to some other organizations too. Many of them, I'm sure, that you have never heard about. But it just gives, it just helps us to understand, that the newspapers and the radio headlines don't tell us the full story of who we are, what we are, and what we're doing. There are many people out there. They seek no publicity. They're not looking for no picture in the paper. They're just doing good things, helping other people, demonstrating not just on our humanity, but in a sense our Jamaicanness, old time Jamaica, we grew up, we used to help each other. They used to have a thing called work day in the country parts where farmers who planting their crops, one day all the farmers get together and they go on his little plot to help him. If I'm building a house, everybody come up one day and then put on a big kerosene pan of soup and everybody jump in and help. We are innately good people. And I only hope that with all the badness that's going on now, that we don't lose that trait, that part of our genes. Were we able to get Candice back? She's back on. Candice?
Yes, I'm back on.
Yeah, I thought you rather well leave me.
No.
Yeah, give us those numbers again, the contact details for people who can help.
Okay. So it's 876-296-4002, and I'll go again. 876-296-4002 or 876-381-9182.
And your
So
and your social media contact?
Okay. On Instagram and Facebook, it's at Street People Liberation. On Twitter, it's streetpeople_JA.
Well, let me congratulate you once again, and I wish you every success in all of your efforts. And big up Ashley Ann for me, your conceptualizer and founder. Tell her we're proud. We're proud of what you all are doing. So thank you very, very much.
And thank you again for having us.
Sure.
Have a great day.
Good. Wonderful. You too.
Thank you.
When my producer is looking for topics for this program, I wouldn't have thought of this. She did. But this is the kind of thing that we need to talk about. Talk about crime and bail act and state of emergency and so on. But there are good things happening in our country. And we need to highlight them. Not so much to give these people exposure, but just to re-inspire ourselves and reassure ourselves that all is not lost. We are a country of people who have good hearts, and people who are making the effort, committing themselves to help others. We're hoping to be joined now. You want to take a break? Let's take another break. Welcome back. It's Jamaica Live. We're on Bridge 99. We're doing a program of a difference today. We're focusing on young people and their altruistic efforts. Young people who are interested in more than dancehall and parties and latest hairstyle and fashion and so on, who are reaching out, making a difference in the lives of other people. And we're very pleased now to be joined by another. We had the Street People Liberation movement on a while ago. We are very pleased now to be joined, hopefully, by a group from Taylor Hall at the University of the West Indies. Mr. Ryan Watson, is it? He represents the fraternity of roosters. Ryan.
Yes, Mr. Golden.
I know what roosters are supposed to do. What do your roosters do?
We dominate.
Oh, you dominate. What you dominate now? Tell me.
We dominate the university space, and also you see we dominate even outside of the university space. As you see, we're active in philanthropy.
Tell me a little about your program.
All right. So to tell you about the program, it is spearheaded by Jerome Walters. So he'll give you a brief summary of what we're about.
Sure. Put him on.
Hello, good day, Mr. Golden.
Hey, Jerome. How you doing?
I'm doing fine so far.
First of all, how did your organization come about? What inspired it?
Okay, so Fraternity of Roosters is an organization of young men who are affiliated with Black Sea Taylor Hall at the University of the West Indies. So since the inception in 1957, we hold strong beliefs in male empowerment, education, advancement. And
how old is this organization?
We started in 1953.
What you saying to me? That's before I even came to the university. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And what has it been doing?
So over the past year, we have made our focus engaged like in philanthropic projects, such as this project is the Rooster's Nest. It means nurture, empower, support, and transform. So we have Grove Primary School and Infant School at the center of our project.
Where is that school?
It's located in Gardentown, Kingston.
Mm-hmm. And that has been your focus, the focus of the group.
Yeah, that's one of our focus.
And what have you been doing there?
So over the past years, we have retrofitted a room to host a math and literacy room. So this retrofitting includes tiling of the room, like securing the room with like burger bars, repainting of the walls, installing air conditions, and purchasing like some math manipulatives, So we still have a bit to do in terms of installation of computers, smart boards and stuff, but we are getting there, and we would like to help the school as much as possible.
Do your members provide any mentorship to the students there?
Oh yes, we do. We usually have our mentorship program where some of our university students will go by the school to provide tutoring to them.
How do you raise funds for this, Jerome?
Okay, so some initiatives we did around the Taylor Hall would have done some bake sales and other initiatives. However, for this one, we're participating in the NCB Grant a Wish 2022. So this would gear towards helping the school with the previous mentioned list of things that we want to do, because we really want to help them as much as possible. And kids are the future, and to have them with a good educational background and providing additional supplies to them will really help in moving them forward and better upbringing,
Mm. What's the enrollment at that school?
Could you repeat the question?
What's the enrollment there at Grove?
The amount of students?
Yes.
When I spoke to Miss Taylor, who was the principal, she had said over 150 students.
I see. And those are from the Gordontown community?
Yes.
Is there any other project that you focus on, that you allocate time and effort to?
Internally?
Whether internally or externally?
Mr. Golden?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, we we help School of the Blind.
Yes.
Yeah, so we normally do thin drive.
That's the one on Hollow Road?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we do
They do.
team drive.
I haven't been there recently, but I know in the past when I've been there, they do fantastic work, particularly with cane furniture.
Yes.
Really fantastic work. I mean, I went there and watched them working on. Lord, I mean, I have eyesight, but I couldn't match them at all in terms of their dexterity.
Yes, remember when you use one sense, the other one is heightened.
Yes. So, what sort of assistance you provide there?
Alright, so with the tin drive, we provide them with tin food and so on to help them out, and we also accept students from School of the Blind to live on our block.
Oh,
Yes, we are a pass member,
yes.
double blank.
Well, that's excellent. How many Taylor Hall students are involved in the group?
It is the fraternity of roosters.
Mm.
So
It's Block C, no?
yes, so it's Block C roosters.
But how many of the Block C residents are involved?
Everyone is active.
Oh, everyone is active. That's good. So you're looking at what sort of numbers?
You're looking at 38 members. So,
And you said this has been around from the 1960s?
oh, I thought you meant like presently living on the block. However, the fraternity we have over hundreds, over 300 members currently actively participating as well, helping in every way, shape, or form that they can.
Yeah. Well, that is good news, and I want to wish you every continued success in the
thanks a lot.
efforts. At some point, I imagine you will graduate from Grove, and you will perhaps identify some other project, no?
Yes, true. But
The
Grove has been very close to our heart, so we would really love to see them improving and the best for them. So that's the reason why we entered the NCB Grant a Wish 2022.
Yes. Well, let me congratulate you once again. I'm so glad to see that young people have this kind of breadth of interest and concern, outside of their own pursuit and so on. So let me congratulate you. Fraternity of Roosters.
Yeah.
That's Block C, Taylor Hall, University of the West Indies. Thank you very much, Ray, and thank you very much, Jerome. Thank you for joining us today.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Golden.
Good. Glad to have you. That's our focus today. We're talking to young people who are helping other people, young people who see beyond themselves and see a need, stretching a helping hand. And you know what impressed me in talking to them? They seem to enjoy doing it as much as the people who are benefiting from what they do. I mean, it seems to give them a kind of fulfillment, a kind of enrichment of their lives that is so remarkable and so commendable. We're hoping to be joined now by yet another one. This one now from the Norman Manley Law School. And they have a children outreach program. We're very pleased to talk with Juliana Blackstock, who is a representative of that group, student at the Norman Manley Law School. Juliana, are you there?
Good afternoon. Yes, I am here.
Welcome to the program. Tell me a little bit now about the children outreach program that you're engaged in. How did it come about? Or how many people are involved? What do you do?
So the Children's Outreach Program is a charity club created by law students for the sole purpose of giving back to the children of Jamaica. Each year we have an average of about 50 students who are actively a part of the club. What we do is that we plan several outreach projects throughout the year, and the law students, they would donate whether items or money towards the project. We would also reach out to corporate sponsors to provide donations for these outreach projects. And typically we visit children's homes, or if it's not children's home, we generally visit the Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Center, and we just try to visit anywhere that involves children and to carry out our projects in the best way that we can, whether it is to provide financial assistance, educational assistance, emotional, just any way that we can share a little bit of our hearts with them. That's typically what we do on a yearly basis.
What kind of response you get from corporate Jamaica? Is it like pulling teeth, or they are forthcoming in assisting?
Several companies have responded positively towards the project. So recently we had a treat at SOS Children's Village. That's for World Children's Day. That's celebrated on November 20th of every year. And for that treat, we were able to get sponsors like Sagicor Foundation, KFC, Progressive Grocers, and a party company called Party Plus Entertainment. So it has been positive. And we also have an outreach project in Christmas where we host our annual Christmas treat at Sir John Golding Rehabilitation Center. And I can tell you that KFC also volunteered to donate to that initiative as well as Grace. So it is quite forthcoming so far with regard to the corporate sponsors.
Let me ask you a question, Juliana. Why do you bother do these things?
Well, I must say that I grew up in an area where most of the people in the area that I grew up were unfortunate or less fortunate. So I have developed the love of giving back in any way that I can, just because I knew how difficult it was for me and the people in my community. So now as a law student, and I'm at a stage where I didn't even expect to be, I just try to give back in any way that I can. Even when I was at the Faculty of Law, I would oftentimes join service clubs, and I just find myself continuing to do this wherever I go.
And your focus, the focus is children, no?
So the focus for the children's outreach program would be giving back to children, but I'm involved in various other outreach clubs at the Normandy Law School.
Tell us a little about them.
So we have the literary dress, and this club, it is broader in terms of they don't just focus on children, they focus on elderly. They try to visit people who are disabled or special needs people. We also try to not only teach our members to give back, but also to teach them to assist in any way that they can when they actually become attorneys. And I honestly believe that attorneys are charitable at heart, and I can see that even coming from the students.
Well, what is it that drives them? Is it something that comes naturally, or is it something that you have to inspire and motivate? I mean, do the Norman Manley Law students and the Faculty of Law students do they kind of have an innate sense of obligation, or it is something that they have to be persuaded to become involved in?
Well, I could say that majority of us, I believe that it comes naturally. I don't know what would have been the driving force, because I think each person has their own reasons for wanting to do this and to give back. As I said, my reasons because of my upbringing, and I know that I grew up in an unfortunate situation, and I just know that now that I'm a little bit more well off, that I try my best to assist in any way I can. That could be the same reason for others, or each person might have their own reason, but it's not a sense where they are forced. I think they naturally are in a position to always want to give back in whatever way they can.
Now, if there's anyone listening to us out there who would like to support your efforts, how do they go about that?
So you can definitely contact me if you want to find out more about the information. My contact number is 876-403-6940, or you can visit the Norman Manley Law School. We have two receptacles, one at the Gibraltar Hall and one at the Ring Road building, where you can take your donations and place them in the receptacles. But definitely, if you reach out to me, you could get further information as to where I could pick up the items, if you have items. And in terms of if you want to make monetary donations, we have our Student Association banking information, which I can also share.
Yeah, man, let us have that.
Okay, just a moment. So it's the bank is NCB. The account name is Norman Manley Law School Students Association. The account number is 402-192-488. And once you make a donation, you can just indicate that it's for the Children's Outreach Program. And definitely that donation would be going towards the Christmas tree that we have in December for the Surgeon Golding Rehabilitation Center. And I can tell you that this would be a worthy cause for you to donate towards, because this institution provides rehabilitative healthcare services for patients with severe physical issues, not just for adults, but they have several children at this institution. And Christmas is a special time of the year for people to gather with their family and friends to eat, share gifts, and to share the love. And that is what we want to bring to the institution for these children, because, you know, most of them would not be in the position to enjoy that aspect of Christmas. So we want to bring that love and fun.
And that is going to take place on what day?
December 17th.
December 17th. That is this week, Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
So we want to urge those persons who may be inclined to assist, to contribute, to do so quickly, to try and get that assistance to you quickly, so that December 17th can be a real difference to the people at Sir John Golding Center, no?
Yes, but if you don't have the donation right now, we will also be doing a breakfast initiative next year, early next year, around February, for at least 2 primary schools that don't have a breakfast program. So we haven't identified the schools as yet, but we're trying to find a primary school that does not already have a breakfast program, and then we would go there to provide breakfast for all the children on one of the days in that month. Good. So if you don't get to donate towards the Christmas treats, you can definitely still send your donation, because that is what it would go towards the breakfast initiative.
Why we don't hear more about you, Gillian? I mean, if my producer didn't put you on my program, I wouldn't know anything at all about you. You don't have a public relations officer.
So we have a public relations officer, but we, as students, we are trying to multitask, still trying to do our schoolwork and to carry out outreach projects. So we have to just try to balance. So most of our focus is actually doing the work than PR, but we will try to put more effort on advertising, and so that other people can know more about it.
Okay, well, I want to commend you. I mean, I'm so pleased today to hear about the work that young people like yourself are doing. You know, stepping out of your lane, in a sense, because, you know, some people may think that, you know, you go to university, you have to pay so much tuition fees and you have to study so hard that you don't have the time to deal with any charitable cause, and yet there you are, stepping out of your lane, as I said, and helping others. You want to give us that information again as to the how people can contribute, how they can assist?
All right, so If you want to donate items, we have receptacles that are located at the Norman Mandela Law School, both the Gibraltar Hall location and the Ring Road location. But if you don't have the time to go to the law school, you can definitely contact me and I'll arrange pickup. My number is 876-403-6940, or you can send us an email. Our email address is children.nmls@gmail.com. And if you want to make monetary donations, the bank details are as follows. The bank is NCB U branch. The account name is Norman Mandela Law School Students Association. The account number is 402-192-488. And if you are so inclined to make this donation, please indicate that it is for the Children's Outreach Program, because we have several clubs at the law school. And if you're able to send me a screenshot of the receipt or anything to prove that you would have sent the donation, you can send it to my number on WhatsApp. And I'll just repeat my number, 876-403-6940. And my name is Jelana Blackstock.
One last question, Jelana. Tell me a little about the sustainability of your organization now. I mean, because you're going to graduate from Norman Manley Law School and you're going to go about your business. What is going to happen to the organization? Is it something that the new students coming in will take over and keep it going?
So every year we have an election or a nomination for persons to fill these positions. But what we try to do is to have each year the exec body is balanced, where we have a set of second year students and a set of first year. So even when I leave, there will be some first year students who would already be on the exec, who would be familiar with how to approach the projects and so forth.
So continuity will be assured.
Yes, and so each year we try to have second year and first year. So when one set leaves, you still have some remain, and then when those first years are doing second year, we will have a new set of first year to come. And we have been active for several years, so I trust and believe that this is something that would be continued even when I leave the Norman Manley Law School. And also, a very important thing about our club is that even when we leave as students, we try to donate. Even though, we're no longer part of the law school, as the alumni, we donate to the initiative, and that also helps to keep the charity club running.
Well, that is excellent, really excellent. And how many people you said are involved in it? How many students?
Each year we have over 50 students that are actively involved in the outreach project.
Well, I want to congratulate you once again, and all the other members who are involved. This is a wonderful effort. We want to encourage you, and we want to appeal to people and encourage them to chip in and help. I mean, there are people out there who they may not have the time to sort of jump around and help other people, but if they can afford it and they can make a contribution to you, then you will do the helping with the help that they can give you, no?
Definitely.
So let me congratulate you once again and wish you every success as you continue.
Thank you so much, and thanks to everyone who is listening.
Good. Thank you so much. Welcome back. It's Jamaica Live. We're on Bridge 99. We're talking today about altruistic efforts. We're talking to some young people. As I pointed out before, we have a lot of charitable organizations in Jamaica. Some of them were very well known. And they do good works, and we salute them. And some of them are pretty well funded. You talk about Sandals Foundation and Sagicor, United Way. They all do fantastic work. But we wanted today to shine a little light on those that we've never heard about. Those that I have never heard about until today. And we wanted to give them some exposure because I feel inspired, you see, as a Jamaican, when I hear about the kind of effort that some of these people are making, some of these groups, with names that you have never heard before, involving people whose names you have never heard before. And they're, in their own quiet way, they're making a difference to the lives of people, whether it is the homeless people in Montego Bay or the little children at the Grove Infant School in Gordon Town, or the patients at Sir John Golding Rehab Center. They're making a difference. And their efforts are as valuable and as commendable as the efforts of all the big charitable organizations. So today we had a talk with the Street People Liberation Movement about their work, and they're not just focused in Montego Bay, they're in Kingston and Montego Bay as well. And then we spoke with the Fraternity of Roosters, kind of peculiar name, but they are a group of students at the University of the West Indies, Taylor Hall Block C, and they're involved in some very, very commendable work. And then we just had on Juliana Blackstock, who is one of the people involved with the Children Outreach Program of the Norman Manley Law School. We're hoping to be joined now by Genevieve Richards. She's a member of the UWI Guild. As a matter of fact, she is the chairperson of the External Affairs Committee. Genevieve, do we have you on?
Clearly?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little now about your efforts. The Guild External Affairs, what does that involve? What does that encompass?
Okay, so the External Affairs Committee, or the portfolio, what we deal with is outreach and volunteerism. We're also the bridge between the Guild of Students and external entities and international organizations. So basically, we plan initiatives for the wider community and for student participation.
Tell me a little about some of the projects that you're involved in.
Okay, so most recently, which is in first week of September, we did our back-to-school treat, which had about 250 students from the surrounding community of Mona and Papine. So with that back-to-school treat, we wanted to give back to the students since they're returning to the face-to-face modality, and it's something that is normally held. So it's an annual event. So
you do it annually?
Yes, it's an annual event held by the Guild, and sometimes we see over 250 to 300 students coming out. That is not including parents. So when you include parents, about like 500 persons in total coming to just have fun.
And what do you provide?
And so what we do is that we provide medical checkup for the students. We also, what we did in our recent one, was we did vision board sessions because we wanted to include high school students. So we did vision board session. It's a fun day. So they get to go on trampoline, they get food, and they also get supplies for back to school because that is the aim. So we supply them with a book, pencil, erasers, and also have like mentorship program. And we have speakers that come in and speak to the parents and how to better parenting. And we also have motivational sessions for those test students who are at the treat.
What's the response of the parents to it?
The parents love it because it's something that they always look forward to. They're really glad that the university and the Guild of Students put out the effort so that their students...
Where do you have it? Where is it held?
Yeah, so this is normally held at the UWI Mona Bowl. So it's close to Augustus, but it's on campus. So it's held at the UWI Mona Bowl football field. And then we invite persons from, so what we do, go into the school, so we go into the Augustine Primary, we go to Papine High, and we encourage them, and we do community walks and encourage them to come out. But they normally look forward to it because it's an annual thing.
Jenny, can I ask you to hold for me one moment because I have to make connection with New York now. I mean, they're listening to you as well, so let me get back to you.
No problem.
Beauregard, are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Golden. Yes, I'm here, sir.
What happened, big man?
Well, I would wake up and see a light sheet of snow this morning, so You know, the weather is always something that I have to tell you about. The first snowfall for the year,
What else is new, Bo?
or for the season, I should
Huh?
say.
I didn't force you to go live in New York, you know. You pick up yourself and go there. Huh?
Well, if I wasn't on this side, I wouldn't be talking to you on this side.
World
I was
Cup.
a bit-
World Cup, what is happening?
Yeah,
there?
yes, it's winding down now. Only 4 teams left: Argentina, Croatia, France, and Morocco.
Well,
The only African nation left in the World Cup.
yes, who you betting on?
Well, I have to go with Morocco, you know. I have to go with Morocco. As a small nation, this is their first time. They're also making history. And I also want to see Messi win a World Cup, to be honest.
Well, I told you I was backing France, but let's see how it works out.
Yeah, France look good.
Yeah.
France look good.
Next week, Monday is going to be the 19th.
Yes.
And it's going to be my last program for the year.
Okay.
My producer Tamar is going to be talking to you about some ideas I have, but I'm going to need your help
No
because
problem.
I want
sir.
to link up. I want to link up with some of the wonderful Jamaicans up in your neck of the woods.
No problem.
But Tamar will follow that up with you.
All right.
Nice
Okay.
talking to you. Keep warm
I'll do that, sir. You too.
and drive safely on them snowfilled
Definitely.
roads. Eh?
Definitely.
Beauregard from Ivy Jam in New York, my pasero, my pal up there. We're talking today about young people involved in charitable activities, giving back, reaching out, helping up. And we have online Genevieve Richards, who is the External Affairs Chairperson for the UWI Guild. And she has been talking to us about the work that they do. Geneva, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, you have a whole crowd of people in New York listening to you, you know, so you're going to need to give us some information as to how they can assist, how they can contribute to your efforts, no?
I was just about to say that because this is all planned by students, and
I wanted to ask you how you fund it, how you find the resources to keep it going.
yes, it's sponsorship. It's mainly sponsorship. So what we do, we write to different organizations, and as students, we try to do fundraisers to get funds to host this back to school treat. But given that the financial status of most companies is kind of hard to get sponsorship, and this is something that we really want to continue. So if persons are interested in donating and if persons want to be a part of this to help students, what they can do is that they can send an email to guild, GUILD, EAC.uimona @gmail.com.
And how do they, if they want to make a donation, how do they do that?
So what they can do, they can email us and we'll send the donation information to them.
You want to you want to repeat that email address?
Yes, so it's GUILDEAC.uimona @gmail.com.
Tell us now. You mentioned the back to school activities, and that would normally be in what, September, no?
Yeah, so that's normally like the last week in August to like the first week in September.
Yeah, and then you're telling us now about a program for January. What is that?
Okay, so for January, we'll be launching our Hope Mentorship Program. So what that is that students at the university will provide mentorship for students who are going to take their CSEC and their CAPE subjects. So we'll be hosting classes, revision sessions on campus, and we'll be reaching out to like different schools so they can sign up persons so that persons or students can get the help they need so that they can sit their CSEC and CAPE examination.
Are these schools just those in the vicinity of the UW campus, or you go beyond that?
We go beyond that. Because of Zoom now, we're able to reach like further schools, so we go into like the rural areas, but our focus, which is like for face-to-face, it's within the vicinity. But for online, we have schools that just not in the vicinity, so probably like in Clarendon, we have schools in Hanover, and so forth.
How many of your fellow students are actively involved in all of this effort?
And you know that students are really involved because when we do send out like the sign-up forms and sheets, we have a lot of sign-up. So we have probably like over like 400 students sign up for just one particular outreach. And So students are actively involved. Students want to give back. Students want to give up their time and their effort, especially since that they have passed that stage, for example, at the high school stage. Students want to be a part of something greater than themselves. So we do find that we have a lot of persons sign up for the different initiatives. For example, we have a volunteerism hub. So we launched that in August. So with that hub, persons get notified of all the different volunteerism opportunity on campus. And for that, we have over 600 students sign up for the volunteerism hub.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that. I'm very surprised too, because sometimes we get a negative view of young people. That they're so self-centered, they're so preoccupied with their own interests and their own pursuits and their own pathway to whatever it is that they're hoping to accomplish, that they don't really have no time to help nobody else. And there are some people who say, well, I need help too, so, don't ask me to help out anybody. But your experience and that of the other students you're telling us about seems to be much different.
Yes, it has been much different for us, because even we had this campaign called Pink Powder Run for breast cancer, and that's an event where students have to sign up and pay to do a run on campus. And surprisingly, we had a large turnout of students who came to run for the cause. Even though they had to pay, they still came out and they support. We even have like our beach cleanups, and we have a lot of students out for beach cleanup, because on one particular cleanup, we have over 4 coastal buses of students, and we even had more students who were willing to come to the beach cleanup. So I do think that the students are now shifting the perspective. They want to give back to a cause. They want to feel included. They want to know that they're doing something great, not just for themselves, but for others and their country as well.
Well, every time you open your mouth, you're telling me about something else, because you told me about the back-to-school assistance, the mentorship. Now you're talking about beach cleanup.
Yeah, man, we do a lot of stuff.
What other activities are you involved in?
Okay, so we do blood drive as well. So we had a blood drive at the University Blood Bank. So students came and they donated blood there. We also had a national or World AIDS Day fair where we gave out information to students. Students came to be tested. They were informed about the different type of STIs, etc. We also have National Tree Planting Day initiative. So we're not just caring for others, we're also caring for the environment within itself. So we planted over 30 trees on campus, and we're looking to plant more for the next semester as well.
Well, that is excellent news. There's one thing I perhaps would want to challenge you about, and I don't know, maybe in the course of all your activities, you're able to have some impact there. But I get depressed sometimes when I see or when I read of reports of how many young people before they even reach 20, they are already firmly on a pathway towards criminal activity. What can people like you, your organization, what can our tertiary students, can they make a difference in terms of trying to see if they can rescue some of these young people who seem to be pulled by some magnetic force into dysfunctional behavior and, going to end up on the wrong side of society and on the wrong side of the law? What can we do about it, Genevieve?
I do think we play a pivotal role in helping those youth. One thing that we can possibly do is to reach them, because sometimes persons, the environment in which they are in is not conducive for their growth. And if they don't see anything to help them, they will turn to something which is not necessarily the right way to help themselves. So if we can go out in those communities, encourage them, show them our success stories, because a lot of students, they aren't coming from privileged background. They're coming from backgrounds that they didn't have it and they still try to make it. So what we can do is probably a mentorship program. I know that we always hear about mentorship program, but a mentorship program for the youth. And what would use that would use youth ourselves, because it's more relatable to hear from somebody in your same age range and may have the same challenges as you, but they had overcome or they overcame that challenges.
And that is so very important, because you people like yourself and then people like those that you're describing will have far greater credibility with them than I would have.
Yes, I do believe that, because a lot of those students that or young people that we see deviate from the norm. We sometimes go to high school with them. Like some of those persons are our schoolmates, but not everyone has that positive role model. Not everyone has that innate drive to success. So what we can do is that we can use positive role models to help them and show them that yes, it is possible. You can change. Like nothing is permanent. You just need the right environment and the right people around you to cultivate you, and so that you can blossom into the person or into your full potential and to be a citizen asset to Jamaica.
What I'd love to see, and I'm going to throw this out as a challenge to you and to other organizations like yours. I believe this is that your cohort, both in terms of age, but also in terms of so many of your peers would have experienced these challenges growing up in depressed communities, some communities that are racked by violence, and yet they were able to sort of lift themselves up. I really want to throw it out as a challenge. If people like you and your peers and so on, if they could sort of come together and light a flame, engage other people that can make an impact. I believe, for example, our entertainers can help tremendously. But I really want to see a kind of movement, a kind of crusade that just sweeps the country like a tide. That begins to say to them, to these young people, no, don't bother hope that one day you can get a gun. No bother hope that one day you can go do some scamming. That's not the way you can build a life. This is a better way, and this is how we can help you. I really would like to see that kind of mushrooming of a whole new spirit and a whole new enlightenment in terms of how we develop as human beings, no?
I would love that too. I would love that. And I do think that's something that can be done. I believe that all the youth organizations in Jamaica can come together and we can develop a program or a strategy and we can take back our youth by force.
Well, and we can't do it soon enough because so many of them are falling by the wayside. Let me congratulate you once again, Genevieve Richards, External Affairs Chairperson for the UWI Guild, and congratulate you for the wonderful work that you're doing, reaching out, making a difference in people's lives. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
And thank you so much for having me.
Good. We're talking about empowerment. That's what we're talking about, not charity. It's empowerment. It's how to improve the capacity of people to help themselves, to survive, to make it from one day to the next. And I'm really encouraged, and I'm really inspired by what we are hearing today, that young people in their own little corner, through their own little organization, through their own educational cohorts, whether it is at the university or wherever, encouraged to hear what they're doing, making a difference. The first one we spoke, remember that one, Street People Liberation Movement, where they're focused on helping street people, homeless people. And that's an organization that was founded by Ashley Ann Broughton, who was 17 years old at the time. 17. We think of 17-year-olds as persons who are so focused and so preoccupied with themselves that they wouldn't have time for things like these. And that organization apparently has grown. I mean, that was founded in 2014. That's what, 8 years ago? More than 8 years ago, March 2014. And it has continued to function, continue to do good work. I'm really impressed. And we're going to be talking to some more people. We're hoping in a short while to be joined by Abanique Reed, who is the Deputy Vice President of Programming and Volunteerism. That's where UWI, Students Today, Ambassadors Tomorrow. We're going to be joining her in a short while. World Cup, I was talking to Beauregard about that recently. I've never seen a World Cup with so many surprises. I've never seen a World Cup where you're getting now to the semi-finals and Brazil gone home, England gone home, Portugal gone home. You know, some of the big, Germany gone home. Normally those are the teams that would be in the last round. No? And this year, Morocco, country out of North Africa, they have really, I think this must be a record. I can't recall any team comparable to Morocco that has made it this far in the World Cup. And it wouldn't be a shocker if they won, you know, because one of the things I found about this World Cup is that my team beat your team, but then I get beaten by Team C. And then your team come and beat Team C. So it doesn't follow that because country A beats country B and country C beats country A. It don't necessarily mean that any of them is certain to win that tournament. Really an exciting, and you know, despite all the criticism that surrounded the hosting by Qatar, it seems as if the arrangements of the games have gone splendidly. I still have some misgivings in my mind about how World Cup venues are chosen. Leaves too much of us tension and order. You know, long after the decisions are made as to what may have influenced it, but be that as it may. We're talking today about organizations, young people organizations that are making a difference to the lives and experiences and the fortunes and the circumstances of other people. And many of them are university-based, these organizations. We spoke with one coming out of the Norman Manley Law School, and there was one coming out of the External Affairs Committee of the Guild, and of course there was the Taylor Hall Fraternity of Roosters. And they've been around from the 1960s. I think they said from 1963 or the 50s, I don't remember. A long, long time. And they have sustained that effort over these many years. And we're looking to be joined now by Miss Abanique Reed. Do we have her online? Not yet. You want us to take a break? Let's try and see if we can get her online. And today, perhaps in the spirit of Christmas, you know, Christmas is when we perhaps feel a greater sense, greater obligation to reach out and to help others. But we're talking with some organizations today driven by young people for whom this is not a Christmas business. This is something that they do throughout the year, helping in different causes. We heard about the assistance to the homeless people in Montego Bay. We heard about the assistance with the Grove Infant School in Gordon Town. We heard about the assistance with Sir John Goling Rehab Center, back to school activities, mentorship, breakfast program for schools. A lot of this effort is really focused on schools and educational circumstances that a lot of our people have to endure, and we really want to commend them. It is, and you know what's good about it is that it apparently is sustained. So, for example, at the Norman Manley Law School, what they do is make sure that they involve the people. Second-year students are there with the final year students, so that when the final year students move on, there are persons who can continue the effort, and I really want to commend them. I wasn't aware of all of this. You know, I read about activities. Last week, I think it was, I was reading in the papers when they had the reopening of the Chapelton Hospital. And there's one lady there, Jamaican lady, who lives in the United States, who made a 1 million, was it 1 million US donation. I think she hails from Chapelton. But you know, you can't give up on our Jamaican people here. There is a goodness in us that, despite all the bad things that some of us do, that goodness in us can never die, and we really want to support them. Which is why today we decided on this program to sort of shine a little light, give a little exposure to those who many of us have never heard about. Many of us are not aware of the work that they are doing. And perhaps by doing so, we can encourage some people to pitch in, give a helping hand, whether in terms of kind, in terms of time and effort, or in terms of financial contributions. And we have urged them to provide the details as to how they can be contacted. We want to talk with the Deputy Vice President, is that it? Of Programming and Volunteerism at the UWI. Students today, ambassadors tomorrow. We want to hear what is that all about. How is that different from the other organizations that we've been featuring on the program today? And that is Miss Abanique Reed. Do we have her online? She's online, Abanique?
Good afternoon, Amy.
How are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining the program.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about this program now. What is it called? UWI Students Today, Ambassadors Tomorrow? What's that?
Yes. So the UWI Start, so the Students Today, Alumni Tomorrow, is an organization that gives students the opportunity to foster Pelican pride, build regional integration, and network. We are considered as ambassadors to represent the Vice Chancellor on all 5 UWI campuses. And UWI Start also enhance student leadership skills through involvement, campus, community, and alumni activities.
How long has this been going? How old is this organization?
The organization was established in 2016.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
The organization was established in 2016.
I see. And how do you ensure it is sustained? Because students come and students go, no?
Right. Students do come and go. That is why we have alumni who, once you're a part of UWI Start, you get to become an alumni even after you have graduated from your undergraduate program. So we get to sustain that, having those persons who would have been there from their undergraduate degree stages, automatically into their graduate studies.
Tell me a little bit now about the kind of projects in which you're engaged.
Okay, so we are engaged in so for our voluntary efforts so far, beach cleanups, or breast cancer awareness initiative that was done in October in partnership with our finance portfolio, or partnership with the Mona Social Services. which our Vice President of Disaster Mitigation and Climate Change presented to students at the Mona Heights Primary on the importance of effective communication. And we do have an upcoming project, which is our Christmas Kindness Project.
What is that upcoming project? Eh?
So it is a project that will be making donations to the mustard seed communities there to care home for girls with HIV. And the donations include toiletries such as sanitary napkins, toothpaste, rags, soap, deodorants, any personal hygienic items, non-perishable items such as tin mackerel, baked beans, corned beef, books, whether it's notebooks, textbooks, fictional books, and clothing that are in good condition, and new underwear. So I'm definitely appealing to persons who want to donate to a good cause. This is the opportunity. Collection period ends December the 20th.
Well, tell us how do you how do you find the resources to do these things? From donations, or you have fundraising efforts?
We do have fundraising efforts.
Tell us about them.
So for our fundraising efforts for our breast cancer awareness month, where we would have sold shirts, breast cancer awareness shirts, and stickers, and then from the funds raised, that would have been given to the Cancer Society. And also we have ADs in training where we collect views, and that would have helped to offset some of our projects.
I see. And you say you are the Vice Chancellor's ambassadors, did you say?
Yes, we are the Vice Chancellor's ambassadors.
What is the implication of that? What does that mean?
Vice Chancellor ambassadors, that means we are student representatives of the Vice Chancellor. So we represent the Vice Chancellor.
Representing the Vice Chancellor in terms of what?
In terms of ensuring that the vision, his mission, is carried through, carried out, to students.
How many students are involved in the program?
Currently, there's over 80 of us.
Mm. And these would be from various faculties, I imagine?
Right.
And various years?
Yes.
Do you do any projects outside of the immediate community, outside of the corporate area?
Do we start?
Mm.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about them.
So, like as I said before, our presentation with the Mona Social Service, where our Vice President of Disaster Mitigation and Climate Change would have presented students within Mona Heights Primary, where we are looking to establish homework programs and support different from the outside the community.
How do you go about recruiting volunteers, members for these programs? Do you find that students are eager to get involved, or you have to really go out and find them?
It's a 50-50. Students are really eager to be a part. And we have to really go introduce them, and encourage them to join. So we really have we really go out there, look for students, and then they have a training process. Then after the training process, there's an interview. Then after the interview, they are selected as ambassadors designate. Then after that training, they're inducted as ambassadors to the court.
Now tell me, I don't know if you were listening earlier, but we had a discussion with a number of other similar organizations at the University of the West Indies. We spoke with a Taylor Hall group, the Fraternity of Roosters, and we spoke with the Children Outreach Program of the Norman Manley Law School. And then we had on as well the chairperson for external affairs of the University Guild. Tell me, do you not run a risk of bumping into each other? Or is there some point where you all collaborate, consult, so that, you know, the two of you are not turning up at the same school, handing out the same back-to-school assistance?
Thanks for that question. So, yes, we do collaborate with each other. As I said, our partnership with the Mona Social Services and with the Guild External Affairs Committee. So, we do collaborate with each other so that our efforts are not duplicated.
So that and perhaps you can help each other in terms of identifying projects. In other words, my group might identify a project, but we may say, you know, this one would suit you better. So let us select something else so that we apply our skills in the most effective way. Is that going on?
Yes, yes.
And what are your hopes and expectations for next year? Any major project lined up? Abanique, have I lost her? Oh Lord. Have a brief with our telephone system, I don't know. I had her on a while ago and seemed to have been going well, and then she just dropped out. Volunteerism, young people, reaching out, getting engaged, getting involved, helping other people. You know, the thing about this, you know, is that it is as satisfying to the people who are giving the help as it is to the people who are receiving it. There's a satisfaction you get when you have made a difference in somebody's life, in somebody's experience, when somebody is able to smile where they couldn't smile before, or they're able to breathe a little easier, they're able to make a little more headway, simply because somebody reached out. And as I keep saying, one of the very, very important things is that these are persons who are doing this thing and we don't even know about it. Most of us. I mean, I'm only learning about these organizations since we started putting this program together. But it is something that is really praiseworthy, and I want to commend them all. We're coming up to the end of the program. We still have a little time left. I just want to perhaps end with another appeal. Christmas is coming, no? It's the first normal Christmas, for whatever better way of putting it, that we're going to be having since 2019. Because remember that Christmas 2020 and Christmas last year both took place in the context of COVID and all the restrictions that we had to be maintaining. And I want to appeal to everybody. First of all, let us take care, no? In our activities. I already appeal for road users. Take it easy. All road users, motorists, cyclists, pedestrians, the motorcycle people, them, good Lord. How many have you experienced? You're in a line of traffic, right? Like on Grandspin Road. And it's a solid line of traffic going in both directions. And the space between my vehicle and the vehicle over the other lane traveling the opposite direction, I don't know, maybe about 4 feet, if as much. And, you know, the bike man is traveling through that space at speed, you know. I mean, not inching in through, revving up the motorcycle. Good God. But let us take it easy. And let us don't create problems for ourselves that we're going to regret when January comes. So don't spend what you can't afford. Remember the children. Christmas is perhaps more for children than for anybody else. And try and make their lives a little better. And when you're buying toys or Christmas gifts, Um, I much prefer when you buy a toy that can help your children, help a child to learn something. And it doesn't have to be a book. It can be a gadget, but a gadget that challenges his mind. I remember when I was much younger, I remember they had a thing called Rubik's Cube. And it was such an interesting, it almost became an addiction to work at Rubik's Cube to see if you can line up all the numbers and the letters and so on. When you're buying gifts for children, buy something that will challenge them, that will stimulate them to think, to try to do things, to achieve some kind of proficiency and dexterity. But try and see if you can make life better for them. Do we have Abanik back on the line? We do? Abanik?
Yes, you hearing me?
No, you abandoned me.
No, sorry about that.
Just tell us a little bit more. UWI students today, what are your plans for next year? What can we look forward to?
Okay, so for some of the projects that we would not have get the chance to accomplish, that will definitely...
Like what? Give us an example, or a few examples.
Some of them, for our To Know Your CARICOM initiative, which is an initiative that will enable a number of CARICOM nationals, particularly those within the youth demographic, to be more appreciative, and get to be aware of their region and the Caribbean community. You have the membership cash plan, where university students will get the opportunity to pursue their academic goals and to ultimately fulfill the youth that legacy, being students today and alumni tomorrow, which will assist members with cash grants towards their tuition fees.
Mm-hmm. And these are projects that will be pursued and carried out in the course of the year?
Yes.
I see. And you say how many people you have involved? 400 people? Yes, I think you said.
Over 80 of us.
I'm sorry?
Yes, over 80 of us.
I see, okay. Well, let me congratulate you once again and keep up doing that good work because it's so important. And I'm sure that the impact you're making in the lives of many people is something about which somebody could probably write a thesis.
Yes.
Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you.
That's Miss Abanik Reed, Deputy Vice President of Programming and Volunteerism at the UWI. UWI students today, ambassadors tomorrow. All right, that brings us to the end of the program. We're going to leave you a little early today. Next week, December 19th, our last program for the year, because the week after that is Christmas Day officially, Monday the 26th. And the week after that is going to be officially New Year's Day. But next week we're going to plan a special program to try and bring Kingston and New York a little closer together. So look forward to that. My producer will be putting that together. Until next week, Jamaica Live, Bruce Golding. Have a good week. Take it easy. Look out for your children and your family, and look out for those who, for whom Christmas is normally a bad experience because of their own circumstances. Let's try and see if we can make a difference in as many lives as we can this year. God bless you.